so let's get started. Okay, so the first book that I read this month was The 7-Year Slip. I honestly was so blind going into this. I had no idea what it was about. All I knew was people were recommending it, and it was very popular on like Book Talk, as well as it was like a known romance. So I was going in like, okay, this is a romance book, and I don't tend to usually just read romance because I feel like it's boring. Like, I like romantasy, like, or like a thriller plot with like a subplot of romance. Like, I don't like romance to be the main plot. But when I tell you, this book freaking shocked me when I read it. Like, I am not even kidding with you guys. This book shocked me. I did not expect to like it this much. So it was very, very, very nice to kind of have that element, because I'm going to tell you something. So it's not just romance. There is a magical element to it. I wouldn't say it's like a fantasy, but it's definitely not realistic at all. So I'll read you the back first. So it says, 6 months ago, Clementine was at the worst day of her life. So she came up with a plan to keep her heart safe. Stay busy, work hard, take no risks, and it's been working. That is until one day she finds a strange man standing in her kitchen. A man with kind eyes, a crooked smile, and a recipe for the perfect lemon meringue pie. The kind of man that, before everything she could have fallen for, he's perfect. But for one thing, he lives in the past, 7 years ago to be exact. This should be impossible, but Clementine used to love impossible things, and maybe, just maybe, she will again. So, you probably didn't understand anything, but basically, this book is, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it could get a little confusing for a lot of people. Basically, this book was about this girl, and she had just, she was really close with her aunt, okay? She had this aunt that she was really, really, really close with, and her aunt passed away. So, her aunt passed away and gave her her apartment, okay? So, because she loves her aunt so much, she goes and lives in that apartment and whatnot. And then one day she goes in the apartment and she finds this strange man, and he basically is in the apartment, except that it's 7 years ago. So it's like she enters the apartment, it's 7 years ago. She's out of the apartment, it's the present. But when she goes in, it's 7 situation with this book, and I'll explain in a minute. Okay, so this book doesn't have a back, it has an inside. So let me read it for you. So it says the story of a girl, a boy, and the universe. Natasha, I'm a girl who believes in science and facts. Not fate, not destiny, or dreams that will never come true. I'm definitely not the kind of girl who meets a cute boy on a crowded New York City street and falls in love with him. Not when my family is 12 hours away from being deported to Jamaica. Falling in love with him won't be my story. Daniel, I've always been the good son, the good student, living up to my parents' high expectations. Never the poet or the dreamer, but when I see her, I forget about all that. Something about Natasha makes me think that fate has something much more extraordinary in store for both of us. And then we have the universe, which says every moment in our lives has brought us to this moment. A million future lives before us. Which one will come true? Okay, so basically, I read this book. I actually started it a month ago, okay? I started it a month ago. I read 40 pages, and honestly, I was so freaking bored. I was like, what? Like, I'm not, like, feeling like I'm being immersed in it at all. This book happens all in one day, so all the events take place in, like, one day. And basically it's about this girl named Natasha, and she's like an illegal immigrant, I believe, and she's about to be deported to Jamaica very, very soon. So like 24 hours, she has only one day to like fix things, or at least she hopes to. Then in the street of New York, she meets this Asian boy named Daniel. His parents are like your typical Asian parents, like the stereotype of like you have to be a doctor, blah blah blah. Anyway, it's basically she doesn't believe in like love or love at first sight or like destiny or fate, or she believes in like sciencey stuff. Daniel, he actually is the opposite, and he wants to be a poet, and he writes poems or whatever. So I told you that I got into it a month ago, but I just finished it this month because what happened was I read 40 pages. I was very bored, but I'm not one to like DNF a book unless it's like absolutely atrocious, and I can't. But this book, I've heard so many good things about it. I already started it, so I was like, why can't I just finish it and then I'll judge it, okay? Because sometimes some books get good like at the very end or like later on, like maybe like even after 200 pages, and like you never know. Okay, now this book is 300 pages. So I read 40 pages. I left it for a long time, honestly, until like about 2 days ago, literally. I decided that's it, I'm gonna finish it. Like, I don't care, I'm gonna finish it. So that's what I did. I finished it in 2 days. I really like pushed through. Like at some point I felt like it was a chore, but then like towards the end it stopped being a chore and more of like I want to see like what actually happens then. Honestly, I rated this book 3 stars. I wouldn't like say to people, oh, you have to read this, like, oh my god. But it is good. Like, if you want a different perspective on life, if you want to learn new things, yeah, it's really good. It's a good book. It's not bad at all. It just wasn't like something that I fully like was like, oh my god, I cannot get past it, because I can, and I forgot about the characters in like 2 days. So yeah, it's definitely not something that I like think about. Like, for example, the 7-year slip. Like, no, I cried in that book. I felt every emotion, even though I feel like this book was supposed to be more emotional, but it was just like not realistic to me. And if you read it, you'll know why. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, they literally say I love you like the first freaking day, because I told you like this book is all happening so she does. But instead of like dying, there's like a split second or like a split world between life and death, and she finds herself in a library. It's a library that's huge and has an infinite amount of books. Books. So basically there's so many books, and they're all like green, like different shades of green. And inside of this library she finds her old school librarian. She basically tells her now she has a choice to pick any of these books and kind of try out a new life and see if she likes it. So basically, you know how in our life we kind of be like, what if we did this, and what if we did that, what if we did that, would we be different, would things be differently, what if we took that job offer, what if we dated that guy, what if we did this, what if we bought that, what if we took this career. We have all of these what ifs in our head. So in this library she's able to experience these what ifs and try to kind of see what life she really wants. Okay, so that's what she does. Except there's a catch. She tells her that if there's any sort of disappointment in that life, so she chooses a life that she kind of wants to see how things go or whatever, and then she goes in that life. But if she gets disappointed from anything in that life, she immediately is kicked out of that life, whether she likes it or not. Like, she has no choice but to be kicked out. And it's just so like interesting seeing her like go through all of these lives and just seeing what's up, right? Spoiler if you're going to read this book, skip this part, skip to the next book. So she in the end decides that her actual life is the best life, and she decides on the life she currently has, and then she goes, dials 911, gets help, and survives. So it basically teaches us to be grateful for what we have and the life we have, because all the possibilities weren't meant for us, and if they were really good for us or meant for us, then we could have already happened, but they didn't. So there's good in everything. It just gives you a different perspective in life, like look on the bright side type thing, you know what I mean? Like, just look on the bright side. So it's very interesting. I like it. I love the concept. Definitely made me, kind of rethink my life a little bit. Anyway, let's get on to the next book. Okay, the next book is called Sharp Objects, and this is the same author that wrote Gone Girl. But so I believe this is a show. It was made into a show. Now this book, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I hated it. So I'm just gonna be honest right now. I love thrillers. If anything, it is one of my favorite genres. It's like up there at my favorite genre. And I love thriller. Any thrillers, like, give it to me. I will pick it up 100%. And, I love the plot twists.